honest,
Que
man. I
pariu,
want to know
velho.
what the heck's going on.
To do today? What do you want to see in this hour showcase?
Well, we've had Microsoft, doing a lot of acquisitions over the past couple of years, and a lot of studios that were sort of working on games, perhaps, or working on smaller games for them. So I think what I'm excited for today is for a bunch of those studios
Caralho,
to maybe
velho,
show something
mano.
off. So one studio we visited earlier this year was Obsidian, who were working on Grounded. They've been acquired by Microsoft in the interim, or just prior to that. So I'm interested to see if we'll see what everyone hopes, which is a big budget Obsidian role-playing game. That's kind of on my top list of things I'd like to see. And then the other one is what's happened to Fable. Obviously, in the past couple of, Lionhead isn't around anymore. There's a lot of rumor that Playground, who work on the Forza series, may have sort of taken up the mantle on that. It's been rumored that they've been working on some sort of open world role-playing game as well. So those are kind of the two that I'm looking to see. And just anything else from the rest of their acquisitions, like Double Fine. I'm sure they're a small team, so I'm sure they're not running multiple projects, but
Olha
you
isso,
never know. Maybe they're
velho.
an early concept phase on something.
No, I think RPGs is a great genre, right? Where it's like Xbox has done lots of action games, but doing RPG stuff, I think, is an opportunity for them to show some great stuff in the RPG genre. Alana, what's I know you've been fan of Gears. You've been fans of you're excited about Cyberpunk that's coming out. That obviously will be on all systems, but on Xbox as well. What do you want to see from Team Xbox this morning?
Also blinks. No, I'm kidding. I love Fable. I really want a new Fable. Like Danny said, it's rumored that Playground Games are working on it, and I buy that rumor. They hired a lot of people from a lot of studios known for making really big games, including Rockstar
E aí,
and
Gustavo?
Gorilla.
Beleza?
So I really, really, really want to see Fable. I love that world, and I
Mano,
feel
que
like
merda, mano.
something so
Caí
pleasant
na
about
internet
a
numa hora
British
dessa, cara.
RPG, like
Foda.
the humor captured in the original Fable game, I just
Fudei,
love so
mano.
much, and obviously Peter Molyneux would no longer be attached, so that changes things, but that's what I really, really want. Also really obviously excited to see more Halo. Very curious to see if any of the Perfect Dark rumors hold up, because I also love Perfect Dark. But to get away from games hype, I really want to know more about xCloud. I'm kind of hoping that we hear a little bit about xCloud and what they're planning to do with that in the future after that Game Pass announcement, which is super exciting. So those are my big three.
No, I think you're right. There's such an interesting story there around what's happening with Xbox Live, with Game Pass, this idea of
Vamos ver se estabiliza agora essa
subscription
merda.
sort of approach,
Olha,
right?
mano.
Versus buying $60 games time and again. It seems like part of Microsoft's approach is, very Netflix-like.
Porque você manda uma empresa dessa
all
tomar no
these
meio do
games, all this
cu,
content,
no
and
meio
that'll
do
mean
cu.
big
Você
games,
é o
but also,
ruim.
potentially smaller games that people are more likely to sample. Which I think is, a huge opportunity here to see a diversity of content. That,
Sonista derrubou a live.
for the super core gamers, but
Pô, Sonista, nem começou, velho.
appeal too. Let's talk
Sonista
about
subiu no
Halo.
poste, ele cortou o
They've
fio
done
ali,
a very
mano.
good job over the past week hyping everyone up around, Master Chief's return. Seems like a bit of a spiritual reboot in a way of Halo. I mean, we saw the kind of key art, the box art yesterday was like very reminiscent of the original Halo Combat Evolved. We know we're going to see the campaign today. We saw, I think it was last year at E3, we saw kind of we've actually passed two E3s, we saw kind of teaser assets for Infinite. Originally, we saw kind of the engine, and then last year we saw, sort of an in-game sequence, or at least rendered in engine.
Essa porra de internet é foda, né,
What are your
mano?
hopes?
Bom,
What
vamos
does
ver
Halo
agora se
have
vai
to do?
ficar estável.
Obviously a legendary franchise. I think there's a big opportunity here for them, but it's a very competitive space with first-person action games right now. What do you want to see in a new Halo? What will convince
Vai,
you
joga
that,
até agora
Halo's
mostrou
back on
só
top?
More Chief, less
o
Locke.
Dragon Quest, que vai chegar pro Xbox com
my
Game
number
Pass.
one.
E um joguinho de tiro lá,
I
meio
think
de
so
mecha.
too. I feel like that's something that they've really focused on, and I know that they got a lot of criticism for the story,
Vai,
and I'm actually,
Dragon Quest
from
vai
what
vir e
I've
vai direto
heard,
pro Game Pass.
Halo Infinite's
4
development
de
got pushed a
dezembro.
little bit because they reworked the narrative after people were so upset about the
Não,
long
agora tá
focus of the
estável a
last game.
internet. É que caiu, né, pô?
Halo's an interesting
Caiu,
one
mas
in that I don't want it to shift too
deu
far
uma
from
quedinha
classic
e
Halo
voltou.
because that's sort of been with me my whole life. But I would also, same token, like a story like an ODST. I really liked the way that was told. I feel like that's really unlikely, but I want a groundbreaking story. I want something that kicks me in the feels, like Reach did or like ODST did. But with the lore and the nerdiness of probably a Halo 2, just as long as Chief's with me the whole way, I'm gonna be good though.
Yes, as you said, a focus on Master Chief in terms of
Só
the
tem que comprar o microfone daquele ali, ó, daquele carinha debaixo do
we see
do Kojima Boy ali.
first-person games going in different directions,
Desse que você coloca tipo um tripé assim e ele vem mais perto assim.
The sandbox style of Halo is
Eu tô
something
de olho num desse aí.
really
Não
like,
desse nível aí profissional, né?
in
Mas
the gameplay.
por aí.
Do you think does that still hold up in
Renato,
2020?
e aí? Hello.
When you see this demo or gameplay footage, what are you going to be looking for that's going to cue to you like Halo's back?
Yeah, I think that's the big sort of question on this. When we first saw Infinite, it was around the time that big sort of shift into games as a service was happening, where games like The Division and, I mean, Destiny is obviously the sort of most obvious one. We're turning into these platforms that we're getting catered to and new content over and over and over again. And obviously the word infinite sort of implied something along those lines. So I'm really interested to see, you know, Halo, when it first came around, and then when it had its sort of like soft reboot in a way with Halo 3, it's sort of like re-emergence. I feel like it was very much a game that was pushing both single player and multiplayer, and also just a lot of interconnectivity with different types of modes and stuff. So it's always been on this sort of bleeding edge of like gameplay design. And the other side of it that I'm really interested in is just how the Slipspace engine works. Because they've had access to the hardware, or they've known what the hardware was going to be like.
Ah, mano, tá caindo de novo, velho.
Really, you know,
ah, mano, eu vou ligar lá, velho, nessa view, velho. Eu vou ligar lá e acabar com essa filha da puta, mano. Não é possível, mano.
Whatever we see from that gameplay is going to give us a real indication of just how good games can look on this system.
No, that's a great point.
Vai te fuder, mano.
Hopefully going to be the high bar of, you know, what we can look for visually and in terms of gameplay and the experience with it. Aaron, are you much of a Halo guy besides the, you know, the blink skin or something like that? What's going to convince you that this is the first person action game to get?
Well, you know, for me, Halo's always all been about multiplayer, right? So like I was never huge for the single player campaigns. I always played online, always played with friends. And the thing that I really hope is that there's sort of like a dedication to the old style of Halo, right? Like I feel like every game nowadays is like heroes this, heroes that. And I love Overwatch, but if we're playing Halo, I want to go back to deathmatch, capture the flag, King of the Hill. Like I'm way into that kind of gameplay. So if they can like modernize that and make it still have that sort of, you know, like it feels new. It doesn't feel like, oh, they're just re-releasing Halo or like Unreal Tournament or something. That's what I'm looking forward to, is what can they do with multiplayer?
I'll take a re-release of Unreal Tournament.
Yeah, there we go.
Also, I did like Halo 5 multiplayer. I was actually okay with that. I am just more scared about kind of what you said, Danny, that they're going to Destiny-ify the single-player campaign, which is a very profitable thing to do. So I get why studios want to do that, but I'm scared.
Yeah, I know you said how they blend single and multiplayer, and it sounds like they're talking about campaigns. I don't know if we're even going to get much on the multiplayer. So you said how that's all going to blend together and how they're going to kind of explain what it is, right? And that's part of the thing with these streams. Sometimes we see lots of footage, but then we have all these questions afterwards about like, well, what is this? What are we actually seeing? Is that co-op? Is that single player? So we will have Aaron Greenberg from Xbox is going to join us afterwards to break down some of what we see, and hopefully we'll get some information in the show as well about what they're doing with Halo. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. We will all watch everything together here at the top of the hour, and we are about 30 minutes away from the live Xbox game showcase. We don't know, but the one thing we do know is that Halo Infinite is going to be there, and we've got the countdown clock up there as well, so you guys can wait with us. But we've got much more to talk about, and we've got some more world premieres to show you guys. Right now, we've got an update on a game that is coming out later this year. You just saw it at Ubisoft Forward. Here's a new look at Watch Dogs Legion.
Ladies and gentlemen, London is fucked. But don't worry, we've got a best man on the case. Because if anyone can fix this mess, it's this smooth bastard super spy. Oh. Well, looks like we're recruiting. It's a state of emergency.
Move in and lock down the city.
In the chaos, private armies have taken the streets.
Albion Security's contract has been extended indefinitely.
Pessoal, tô aqui. Rapidão que eu tô no telefone aqui. Tô tentando ligar pra Vivo, com essa filha da puta aqui. Tô aqui. Vou só mutar aqui. Rapidão. Xingar esse desgraçado.
The Kellys have got a human organ black market.
No, but I got to keep tracks on my merchandise, don't I?
The government's literally letting Albion shoot us in the street.
You need to build a resistance. Recruit anyone in the whole city. And I really mean
eu vou ligar? Não. Tô aqui no telefone aqui. Tô ouvindo o puto falar aqui.
Everyday people with something to fight for.
Calma aí, galera. Deixa eu só ver que vai ficar com o atendente aqui.
The right person for the job. Or the ones you least expect.
The city needs a resistance. And it starts with you. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm in.
Welcome to the resistance.
Faces on, guns out. It's about to get real.
Find them. Recruit them. Welcome to the resistance.
All right, well, as we've mentioned quite a few times, we are going to get a first look at the campaign of Halo Infinite. And I asked a friend of mine what he wants to see in a brand new Halo. You may know Ninja for many things over the past few years, but he actually started and created quite a stir with all his awesome Halo gaming and gameplay back in the day. So without further ado, let's hear from Ninja about what he wants to see in a brand new Halo. Tyler, take it away.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm excited to see what Xbox has in store. And here's what I want out of Halo. If Halo Infinite can just give us a incredible campaign to close out just a classic series with a beautiful ending and a matchmaking / multiplayer system where the ranking system is unique and it works, and just really amazing, iconic maps. I feel like a lot of people loved the Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3 maps that came out. They just felt so fun, whether it be super bouncing from Halo 2, nading all the weapons off and learning all that in Halo 1, and just the flow of Halo 3. It was just something so incredible. Played all of them. I love them all. And if Halo Infinite can just get that down, get some of those things down, right? Give us amazing weaponry, right? Weapon gameplay, like the Halo 1 classic pistol, the Halo 2 battle rifle, the Halo 3 battle rifle and sniper. I think it'll be in a really good spot, and I'm just excited to see what they have in store, man.
Awesome. Well, we'll see how much of that comes true, hopefully at the top of the hour when we get a look at Halo Infinite. Thanks to Ninja for joining us on the show. Now it is time to get to another world premiere, a net new game that you haven't heard about. And this one comes from my home country, my home province of Ontario, Canada. I saw this and got excited about just a brand new game from a smaller studio that you haven't heard about, but I think looks pretty cool. Check out this world premiere. Definitely some Stranger Things vibes to that one. Echo Generation with the hockey smash. Very exciting. All right, now it's time to get to another world premiere. Check this out. Oh, wait, we got YouTube creators, first of all. Sorry, I get so excited. I think there are more world premieres coming. We do have more coming, don't worry. But right now, actually, we're going to hear from a number of YouTube creators around the world to hear what they're looking forward to from Xbox, hopefully at the top of the hour. So let's check this out.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Garu, and I'm a content creator on YouTube. And today, I'm so much excited for this Xbox event, because with this, we are going to get ourselves the brand new Halo stuff. And I used to play Halo back in 2011 and 2012, and I just used to spend hours and hours making a map on Halo 3 than actually playing the game. Me and my friends, we used to be like, okay, let's just put that over there, let's put this over there, and literally, we used to come back from school and we used to mess around with maps and all that stuff, and it just used to be a fun game in general. Can anyone forget about the skulls? Like, we used to have to, like, go ahead and collect them. Like, I can go in for hours on Halo, okay? Because with those skulls, we could actually go ahead and try different stuff. And there just used to be so many variations in the game on its own. There used to be co-op, there used to be 1v1, King of the Hill, Juggernaut, and so many game modes in general. So I'm super excited for the brand new release of this game, because especially for content creators out there, there's gonna be so much stuff to make content on. Especially, you know, there's gonna be campaign, and plus if you guys make content on multiplayer, we can go on replay file, on theater mode, and capture some cool moments that we actually had in the game. So I really wish in the brand new Halo, we get ourselves the co-op game mode. With that, you know, the 1v1 still remains, and all the fun game modes that we used to have in Halo 3, I still wish those still remain, because that will definitely bring back a lot of memories. So yeah, my name is Garu, and hopefully you guys are excited for this brand new game and for the event. Peace out.
Hey guys, Middle Jesus here. Now, I vividly remember buying my very first Xbox. I have it right here. It is the beautiful translucent Halo Edition Xbox. When I first saw this machine, I absolutely fell in love with it. So ahead of its time, and so many great AAA games as well as hidden gems. And then when it came time for the Xbox 360, well, this was my machine of choice right here. I have the special edition E3 2005 faceplate on here. And check this out. This was back when you had to have an external Wi-Fi adapter. It wasn't built into the machine, but man, I have so many great memories playing awesome games on this. Now, when it comes to the Xbox One, I'll admit I was a bit late to the party on that one, but I eventually did pick up the Xbox One X. You see the Gears edition here, and I have to say I was blown away by this. It's excellent hardware, and the games are absolutely amazing on it. And so, from what I've seen so far of the Xbox Series X, it appears that Microsoft's going all in on powerful hardware and performance, plus they've added a bunch of first-party developers over the last couple of years, and there is that awesome backwards compatibility, which is important for collectors like me. So, yeah, I definitely think it's going to be pretty cool, and I want to learn more.
Hola, amigas, amigos, yo soy Antrax. Wow, Halo. Qué recuerdos tengo con este título, con este juego. Hizo mi infancia la más divertida de todas. Recuerdo que con el Halo 3 la campaña me la pasé en todos los modos posibles, en solitario y con amigos. El modo en línea, una chulada, lo mejor del mundo. Después con el Halo Reach lloré con la campaña, las cinemáticas son perfectas. Con Halo 4 recuerdo que mi primer trabajo, entré a trabajar para poder pagar el juego. Y entonces eso me ha causado una gran felicidad todo el tiempo con Halo. Es un juego que hizo mi infancia, mi adolescencia, y estoy seguro que lo voy a jugar hasta que
Foi mal,
muera.
gente, foi mal.
Y lo que se viene con este
Liguei, blá blá blá.
título, nueva entrega,
Não sei quem vai resolver
estoy
essa
seguro
porra aí.
que va a ser lo mejor.
Hey, Summer Game Fest audience, Lamar Wilson here, and here are the 5
Filha da
games that I'm
puta.
looking forward to them announcing today. So the first one is Halo Infinite. Now, I came into Halo late with Halo.
Ai, vamos lá agora.
But I love
Desestressar.
it so much that I can't wait to see what's next. Then there's a new game from Rare called Everwild. It just looks amazing and breathtaking. I have no idea what the game's about, but I want to see it. Number 3, I definitely want to see a Gears 6. This is going to be a game really about revenge and taking the Horde out at the center, at the literal core, hopefully for the final time. Now, number 4, since we're talking about Gears, why not a Lego's Gears saga? You know, they did the Funko Pop thing on mobile, but what about Lego? Like, I would actually like to play that, so they need to announce that today. Finally, Cuphead 2. I know. Now, Cuphead 1 tore me a new one. It's one of the most unforgiving games ever, but for some reason, I just want more. Why do I want more? Man, am I crazy? Yes. Yes, I am.
Lamar, fully decked out in his Xbox gear, ready for the show. And it was so cool to have gamers from around the world joining
Adivinha
us
que
from
foi?
India and Mexico, and obviously here in the United States, because one of the things I think we found this year more than ever is that games bring us together, and
As treta aí,
people
as
are
treta aí.
watching all around the world. So I want to say
Ai,
hello to
ai.
everyone watching this special event, where hopefully we're all just going
Essa
to be
Vivo quer me
excited
matar do
about
coração,
games
mano.
as we
Vendo o
watch through it.
negócio.
And the stream is coming up in about 18 minutes. You can watch it
Chamar todo
live
mundo pra ir na
right here on
escola?
the stream. We're gonna get right into it, and then immediately
Falou,
afterwards,
Pila.
we've got our
Depois te
exclusive
conto.
post-show with guests, some
Como
of
é
the
que foi?
developers featured in the showcase, and Aaron Greenberg from Xbox will be joining us to
Tudo
answer
sonistas,
questions. And we'll
professor.
also have
Não quer que você
some creators
assiste.
join us as well to grade, see how Xbox did based on our expectations, and we'll also do a poll on Twitter, so make sure to vote on that. But right now, it is time to get to
Toma 3 de
another
raiva.
world premiere.
Valeu.
This is a sequel to a game that if you watch...
É isso aí, bora ajudar aí, galerinha.
YouTube
Bora
Let's Plays,
contribuir com o
YouTube
canal
videos,
aí,
you've
virar
probably seen.
membro, mandar superchat aí. Bora aí, pô, galerinha. Galerinha que gosta do canal tem que dar um apoio aí. Tem que ser iludido. Ah, isso aí é aquele Hello Neighborhood. Outro jogo desse, mano, tá pior que o do urso. Tô dura, esse Caldespira conta uma história. É, esse Caldespiro. Pegou. Olha lá, Hello Neighborhood 2. Caiu, voltou.
There it is, Hello Neighbor 2, and we've got some more games still to come, and we are 14 minutes away from the start of the showcase from Xbox. It's going to last almost exactly 1 hour, so there'll be an hour showcase in 15 minutes, and then our post-show
Esse jogo parece
afterwards.
legalzinho.
But right now, we're going to take a look at the ID at Xbox
Opa,
program.
de
A great
Xbox.
program
Vamos
this
ver o que
week,
vai ter de
actually, if
bom
you're on
aí.
Xbox, there's a Summer Game Fest demo event, over 70 games that you can download and preview for free. One of the big things I wanted to do with Summer Game Fest was give everyone a chance to play more games at home, and I want to thank the team at Xbox for putting that together in these unusual circumstances where we don't have big consumer events to go and play games. But right now, let's take a look at ID at Xbox, and there are some glimpses of some new games in here as well. Check it out.
Esse é o pré-show, não é o principal ainda. O principal é 1 hora. Vai pra escolinha, pila. Olha o Tunique aí, ó, o Zeldinha. Quando que sai isso aí, mano? Todos otimizados para Xbox Series X.
There you go, Shredder snowboarding game. I missed my SSX, so that one looks really good. And lots of great games coming to the ID at Xbox program that we're excited about. All right, now though, we have a pretty cool brand new game to show you. This comes from a legendary game creator, and when I saw this and the journey he wants to take us on with this game, I was really excited and honored to have the opportunity to share this with you. So this is a bit of a longer piece, but it takes you into the world of a brand new game from a special creator in Japan.
Opa, jogo japonês aí, ó. World Premiere. Vamos ver. Que jogo que é?
Hello, Xbox ファンの皆様、スクエアエニックスの中
Square Enix. Mais um jogo da Square Enix.
皆様に
Ixi.
不思議な物語をお届けに参りました。僕は現在スクエアエニックスにいてバランカンパニーという新しいブランドを立ち上げました。そしてここにいる昔ソニックやナイツを一緒に作った大島直人と20年ぶりにタッグを組んでアクションゲームを作っています。
中さんがスクエアエニックスに行くと知った時はびっくりしました。
僕も驚いたよ。
しかしこうしてまた一緒にタッグを組んでゲームを作れること、
Menos
そして
você.
僕たちの得意とするゲーム作りと
A
スクエア
Square
エニ
Enix tá
ッ
trazendo
クス
tudo
が
mesmo,
得意
hein?
とする物語や音楽とが合わさり、誰も体験したことのない新しいゲームを世界中の皆様にお届けできることをとても嬉しく思います。
Cadê a
今
DLC
日
do
僕た
Cuphead?
ちが皆様にお届けするのはアクションゲームのすべてを詰め込んだアクションゲームオブアクションゲームバランワンダーワールドです。アクションゲームにミュージカルの世界観を持ち込んでボタン一つでたくさんの衣装能力を使い進んでいくゲームになります。
苦悩や葛藤、人は誰しもがポジティブな気持ちとネガティブな気持ちのバランスを保ちながら生きています。しかしそのバランスが崩れた時、あなたはバランシアターに迷い込みます。悩める12人のキャストたちの心象世界をあなたはさまざまなアクションを駆使して
Só fala que vai vir no Game Pass, tá ótimo.
アクションの一つ一つが衣装に割り当てられており、その数はなんと80種類を超えます。衣装を次々に着替えながら各ステージに散りばめられた謎を解き、そして
Olha lá, Caldo Espírito, você vai gostar disso aí, ó. Você viu? Você pode trocar um monte de roupinha, Caldo Espírito.
あなたの手で
Você pode colocar um monte de
取り戻してあ
roupinha.
げてください。
本作は24言語に対応予定です。
Suporta 24 línguas diferentes, ó. Será que vai ter português?
Xbox シリーズ X にももちろん対応し、
Vai estar disponível no Xbox One e no Series X.
どちらでも遊んでいただけるスマートデリバリーにも対応する予定です。世界中の皆様に 4K の最高画質で本作の世界を隅々まで楽しんでいただけます。ワンダーワールドの世界で
Olha lá,
皆
Caldo
様
Espírito, você
を
pode
お
ficar
待ちして
trocando
い
de
ます。
roupinha.
最後に今日は全世界初公開の映像も準備いたしま
はい
したの
Caldo
で
Espírito.
どうぞご覧ください。It's show time!
Balan Wonderworld, a strange and mysterious land that you visit when you come to a turning point in life.
E aí, players? Beleza? Para com isso.
over 80 different costumes, unlocking unique actions and abilities.
Olha lá, Caldespira, olha lá. Roupinha. Aí, Caldespira. Ixi, é agora que dá o flag. É agora que dá o flag no vídeo. É agora. Dá até medo de derrubar a live. Vai, passa logo. Chega de música. Música é ruim.
Every moment is an adventure.
6 minutos, hein, pra começar o principal, hein. Não vai vir pro Game Pass isso aí, não. Esse vai ter que pagar.
There it is, the announcement of Balan Wonderland. Nights was such a special and important game to me. I want to thank Nakasan and Square Enix for
Ué, é seu estilo, é?
premiere announcement with us here on the
Como que você é lá no
pre-show.
Self-Use? Cheio
There's
de cara
even
de
more good
frufru, hein?
stuff though coming up at the top of the hour. We are just 6 minutes away, so we're going to have another group join us here as we count down in the final 5 minutes. We got Matt Pat joining us live from the Game Theorist headquarters.
It's over.
Joining us also is Allegra Frank from Vox. Allegra, how you doing?
Hey, I'm really good now. Like, after Balan Wonderland, I'm with Matt. Yo, that's it. That's the end of the show for me.
Voltou na mesma...
We done. Yeah, no, it's nice, happy, uplifting. We need a game like that. So that was, a pretty good way to end the pre-show. And hopefully means there's even more big surprises
Voltou essa
coming in
merda.
the
Rapaz do céu.
And
Véi,
let's
que
talk about
empresa
this. You guys are
desgraçada,
going to join us
velho.
afterwards as well to react to what we see. So let's kind of get the preview. Balan Wonderland, but what else? What do you guys? Let me put it this way: what does Microsoft need to do to get an A from you watching this conference? So what's it going to take? Let's start with you, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, to me, we all know Halo Infinite is the big gem in their crown, right? Like that's the piece that they're selling, the killer app. That is their killer app. But to me,
Pistola
as
tá pouco,
a
mano.
mild Halo fan, I want to see
Espera a
what
semana
is the other thing
inteira
that's gonna get me
pro
to
negócio da
buy
pau.
this system in particular. And
Não, não
it's not
separou dessa
neon
vez
green
voltou.
skin like we saw for
Na
the
mesma
earlier
live.
Xbox
Ainda bem,
generation
menos mal,
to
né?
coat that big like obelisk that you're buying with Xbox Series X. Balan Wonderland or Balan Wonder World might have sold it for me. It looks like exactly the sort of game that I need in 2020, that the world needs in 2020, and it hits me right in the nostalgia feels. So I needed another killer app for this system, and that might have been it.
Eu vou ter que sair. Ah,
Wow. All right.
aí que tá.
You guys are done in the pre-show. I like it. There are already high marks. JD, we know we're going to see Halo. Seems like you're sufficiently hyped if you've got your Master Chief helmet. What's it going to take to get an A from you in the post-show grade?
Well, I mean, obviously Halo. I would love for them to take Halo Infinite and
Ixi,
use it
olha o gás, Ney,
to
corre.
be showcased the same way they
Vem cá
showcased
comigo,
Halo
vem.
2
Vem
from the
aqui.
E3
Vem aqui.
2005 world premiere. I remember that. They
Vem
did the
aqui.
gameplay mixed in with cutscenes.
Vem.
And then, I
Vem
mean,
cá, vem.
I think I believe we talked about Fable a
Cachorro tem
little
medo
bit
do
earlier. I
gás.
believe Fable 4 would be great. I don't know if they've ever put out that last Fable. I'm not sure. I have to go back. And then for me personally, I want a new Matrix video game. I know that no one in the chat wants that, but hey, remember Enter the Matrix? That was fire. Remember that bullet time? Yo, bring me back. Matrix
Yeah,
is
I
being
remember
filmed
that.
right now.
Intersected with the movies and stuff. Yeah, all right. That's a wild prediction that we're gonna get it.
Deixa eu ali
Matrix.
pegar ele
Keanu,
que
they
tá
used
comigo.
Keanu
Tá
last
no
year,
lugar
so
e
you
passa
never know.
aqui.
Bring him back
Com a
again.
música, tá comigo. Vem cá.
Allegra, I know you're excited about Balan, what they're doing.
Pronto, o
What
caminhão não vai
else
te
will
pegar
it take
agora.
to hype you up
Não
to
tem
an
caminhão de
A
gás que
grade
pega
in the post-show.
cachorro. Não tem, pode ficar aí.
Right. I mean, everything that's excited me in the pre-show is pretty much what I would also want in the post-show, which is interesting, sort of inventive, newer IP. Like, I'm not a big, you know, Halo nerd or Watch Dogs or just anything with a number after it, unless it's some, like, bizarre number that has nothing to do with the game. Like, if it's a sequel, I'm pretty much out.
Será?
But I
Warner,
would
eu
love to see
duvido, acho que
more
não.
from Tell Me Why by
Ah,
Donut.
Tell
I
Me
would
Why.
love to see some actual like gameplay and a good emphasis on that because it really brings an interesting amount of diversity to Xbox. But in general, I like to be really surprised whether or not it's some
Mandou cocô lá,
Final
Snake.
Fantasy
Você
exclusive
fez isso?
that's
Fez
making its
cocô?
way onto the Xbox
Valeu,
for the
Pila.
first
Valeu.
time, or just some game we've never heard of before from some small,
Valeu.
exciting studio. I mean, that's always what wins me over. Also, Keanu Reeves, if he shows up again, I mean, that would be really great.
Hey, you
Mandar
never know. I
abraço.
think he's in Berlin
Abraço.
filming Matrix, but hey, it's virtual, so anyone can. This thing is this year, anyone can show up because around
Just
the
call
world we
him
can connect people,
in.
and it's so different to not be with you guys, you know, with 5,000 people at the Microsoft Theater getting to see this stuff. But we are literally just about a minute away here from going live. You guys are going to join us afterwards.
morde
You've got
minha
your
mão,
Master Chief
não
helmet.
morde meu dedo.
And I want to thank everyone for joining us exclusively here on YouTube for
Vai começar.
the
Vai
pre-show
começar.
for the Xbox event.
O cara
It's
com
going
o
to be
capacete do
about
Halo,
2
mano, que
minutes
da hora.
until we go. So maybe one last quick rapid fire here. JD's got his helmet on. How do you guys think they're going to open the show? What do you
Olha, o
think the first
Scorpio aí
thing
mandou
is?
dezão. Pra não deixar o Serpino iludida.
Yeah, absolutely.
Valeu.
The big guns, they know that's what everyone's here for, and then everything else
Valeu.
is icing on the cake.
Abraço do Snake.
Allegra, do you agree, or do you want something weird and wacky?
It's gonna be
Olha,
Halo, which
Diego,
for someone who
10
doesn't
real
really
pra
care
mim
about Halo,
comprar
I
o
would
ossinho pra
love because I
você.
need a bathroom
É, o
break,
ossinho. Não,
so.
sem B, sai fora.
Sorry, JD.
The chat
Olha que
just
da hora o
lit up.
capacete,
He's gonna
mano.
take a
Queria ter um
bathroom
desse, hein,
break
mano.
during Halo. All right, but hey, we got Balin, and yeah, that's part of the fun is that we don't know what they're gonna do, and they've been very quiet. They've just said Halo, but beyond that,
Meio
they've
rins
really
capacete,
not
deve
told us
ser
anything
mesmo.
else about what games are gonna be
Caralho,
in there.
velho.
So you said, Tell Me Why, great example. Everwild, Psychonauts, those are games that
Deixa
we
eu
know
preparar
they're
aqui que eu tenho
making
que mudar
that
pro
they'll have
canal do
updates
Xbox
on.
agora.
And then I know for a fact there will be some new games announced in this showcase, and it's exciting to watch it live here on YouTube. Well, Matt, JD, Allegra, thanks for joining us. You guys are going to be with us afterwards. We're going to
Deixa eu já colocar aqui, cadê? Cadê Xbox, caralho? Aqui é Xbox. Tem que achar o português. Ó, vou achar a versão português pra vocês ainda, hein, ó. Cadê? Cadê português, cara? Tinha aqui, ó, português. Ó, o Pila mandou mais 10ão, hein? Tá porra. Aí sim. Valeu. Olha lá, 10 segundos, 10 segundos, 10 segundos, 10 segundos, 10 segundos, 10 segundos, 10 segundos. Dancinha do Snake. Olha lá, começou. Agora acalmou. Agora a coisa é séria. Eita porra, já começa com um trailer 18. É assim que eu gosto, 18. Nem um kit pode jogar. Silence. Ih! Começou a disputa. Showcase. Halo, vou começar pelo Halo já. Sonista quebrando o quarto gamer agora. Cadê a pipoca? Não tem. No Xbox não tem pipoca, só tem o Snake. Já tem o Nico! O que é isso? É Halo mesmo? É Halo. Olha lá, tem um hooker, ele vai ter um ganchinho agora. Ele vai ter um ganchinho agora, o Master Chief. Olha lá, mano, o gráfico, você tá louco, velho.
Titanium alloy cannot prevail in the face of extinction. Armor cannot hope. It all means nothing until you step inside.
Peraí. Não é pra estar em português? Sei lá. Deixa assim mesmo, vai. Eu vou traduzindo. Deve virar Just Cause. Ah lá, aperta Start pra demo. Pera aí. Ó, apertei Start, você viu?
Am I dead already? I must be. I mean, this is a punishment, right? Yep, this is death. No! No! No, 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 no! This isn't happening. I'm going to have to make an emergency landing. Hold on, Chief. No! No! You! I can't stand this! Who you are? Breathe. No! You don't get to tell me what to do. You don't get to tell me anything. We're... Are you even listening?
3 anti-aircraft cannons.
3 what?
You'll be safe here.
Oh, I'll be safe. Safe? I haven't been safe since I found you. I found you, remember? You were out there on your own, and you'd still be out there if it wasn't for me. I thought I was going home.
There won't be a home if we don't stop the Banished.
You keep saying that. We're outgunned, outnumbered. I know I saw condors over there. I'm going to dig through them and find one with the working sleep space drive. And when you're done with this war, we'll get away from here. Far away.
Vai, Snake, desce aí. Ai, ai, ai. Depois na conversa. Agora é a hora do show. Ô, Pila, mandou mais 5, é? Tá porra! Valeu, Pila. Thank you. Seu iludido. Para de ser iludido, hein? E vai pra escola. Vai pra escola. O cara vai sair na hora dessa. Fala, foque a escola. Eita porra lá, mano. Eita porra. É, o gráfico tá da hora, mano. Mais R$2. Valeu. Corre lá que dá tempo. Pra você voltar aqui. Fala que você tá doente. Pegou corona. O Pila vai pra escola porque tá de... não tá fazendo as tarefas, certeza. O professor chamou ele. Chamou os pais pra ir na escola. Certeza. É pito. Levou bronca da professora. Acertou lá. Certeza. Ó, vai ter elite. É, eu tô achando que eu vou jogar esse jogo aí, mano. No lançamento também. Eita porra. Ih, Brute de volta. Só os alunos aí. Olha lá o Hooker, nossa. O bichinho do escudo. Tá porra, o bicho pulou lá não. Tá bem aberto agora. Olha o Hooker. Porra. Uma pistolinha, tipo um revólver. Ah, ele pegou o bagulho pra atacar, da hora. Ele pode puxar também. Tá foda, mano. Vai ser da hora esse jogo, hein. Caralho, foi só uma, arrancou o escudo de elite ali? Ah, porra. Essa 12 é forte. Ah, também tô achando que eu vou jogar, hein, mano. Esse jogo aí não vou resistir, não. Pancadaria primeira pessoa, velho. Tá louco. Tirinho. Oh, A-Traps.
Your people are broken, scattered, hunted, defeated by me. I wish I could tell you it was difficult, but it wasn't. We are one step ahead, always. The ring is already under our control. Soon, the auditorium as well. The Harbinger and the Banished share the same goal. We fight together to honor the will of Atriarchs. But without challenge, I grew weary, lost, alone.
Ó. Tá porra.
This is my last fight. A true test of legends. Our story will outlive us both. Set a fire in your heart, Spartan. Bare your fangs. Fight hard. Die well.
Eita porra. Já ganhou do evento da Sony já, só com esse jogo. E aí, o que mais você lembra? Agora vai falar um pouquinho do jogo.
Espero que tenha gostado de ver
Olha lá, mano, tá em português.
Campanha Halo Infinite. Eu estou com
Tudo
muito
traduzido.
orgulho da equipe 343 e quero compartilhar um pouco das batalhas épicas que esperam por você no
Aí,
próximo
tá vendo?
capítulo da jornada do Master Chief. Esta é a campanha
Português.
mais ambiciosa da 343. Pela primeira vez, os jogadores têm a liberdade de explorar
Olha o tamanho do mapa, velho.
misterioso Halo Ring.
Tudo deveria ser missão secundária, aqueles negocinhos. O
Halo
Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite.
A série Xbox Series X, com maiores batalhas,
Pegaram
pistas
qualquer
épicas,
pessoa que tinha lá nos Estados Unidos e falava português e pagaram um coxinho refrigerante pra traduzir. Fala, ó, fala isso aqui em português.
por segundo impecáveis que podem dar vida ao
Olha lá.
Halo Ring de maneiras nunca antes
Ao Halo.
possíveis. Vamos compartilhar mais informações sobre
Olha lá,
o
Halo
evento
Infinite.
nos próximos meses, incluindo uma primeira
Halo
olhada no
Infinite.
multiplayer. Então, por favor, vejam agora o que os outros membros da família Xbox Series estão desenvolvendo.
Opa, World Premiere.
Estreia mundial.
Estreia mundial. Tá bom mesmo, você tá falando da hora. A gente sabe. Ixi, que fedor. A puta já tá fumando já, gente. É internet, é putana fumando maconha o dia inteiro. É uma maravilha, velho. Eu tô no hell. Só pode. Olha, rapaz, que jogo é esse? Mano. State of Decay. State of Decay, mano. Também tive esse feeling aí, mano. Será? Quem que é que fez esse jogo? Dá pra gente... Quem que tá fazendo esse jogo? Será que é State? Acho que não é State, não. Pô, mano, recebi uma oferta aqui no Path of Exile. Aceita, aceita. Será? Eita porra, é State eu acho, hein? Eita porra, eu acho que é State, mano. Uhul! State 3! Caralho, velho. Tá porra, você viu o gráfico, mano? Tá porra, mano. State 3, caralho. Pronto, já acabou. Falou, galera. Deixa eu desligar aqui.
Sejam todos bem-vindos ao showcase do Xbox.
Porra, mano. Stage 3, caralho.
Jogos de
9
estúdios da Xbox Games, incluindo o lançamento de 5 novos jogos oficiais. Que você verá.
Caralho, mano. Stage 3, mano.
Xbox Games estão trabalhando para dar vida aos seus sonhos.
Porra, mano.
Acreditamos que a maneira como você encontra e joga seus jogos é tão importante quanto o dispositivo que você joga. Game Pass da Xbox é a melhor maneira de descobrir e jogar. No entanto, queremos que você consiga experimentar os melhores jogos possíveis. Então, se você é um membro do Game Pass, poderá jogar todos os jogos que você viu
Tá lá,
aqui
Game
hoje,
Pass vai jogar tudo.
a partir da sua assinatura ou do Free to Play. Esses jogos terão
Caralho, mano. Stage 3, velho. Não acredito nisso.
proporcionando fidelidade, desempenho, precisão e imersão inigualáveis. Temos o mais consistente
Deixa eu colocar aqui mais uma oferta,
console de
beleza.
última geração e construímos
Rapaz,
a
Stage 3, velho.
de ponta para permitir que cada desenvolvedor consiga
Mano,
realizar
vai
sua
tá
visão
foda.
completa. Um estúdio que sempre ultrapassou os limites do nosso hardware é o Turn 10.
Aí a Turn
Estão
10.
começando
É
a
o Forza.
desenvolver o próximo Forza Motorsport e o Xbox Series X. Está tornando o sonho deles de realismo sem precedentes uma realidade, com Ray Tracing e 60 quadros por segundo. O trailer que você está prestes a ver foi capturado completamente no engine.
Estreia mundial. Olha lá, Forza 8. Forza 8. Forza. É Forza. Forza. Já detonou já, velho. Ixi, rapaz do céu. Tá louco. Stage 3? Rapaz. Não tem 8, é só Forza Motorsport? Vai ser um reboot? É isso? Really? Hair, vixi. Everwind agora, hein? Everwind! Vamos ver se mostra uma gameplayzinha do que é o jogo.
Our world has a rhythm. We all sense it. But only a few truly feel it. It is found in the smallest moments.
Piratinha 2.
In every step of a perilous journey. In the symmetry of ritual. In the bonds we share. And in moments of stillness.
O gráfico tá da hora também desse jogo, mano. Tá ruim não. Eita, pô. Mais uma oferta aqui no... O sonista não quer deixar eu assistir aqui, mano. Quer ficar comprando minhas coisas aqui no Path of Exile, mano. Pô. Deixa eu assistir, caralho.
To be a light in dark places. To seek answers. And to stand watch over our world. Our world has a rhythm. We all sense it. But only a few truly feel it.
Olha lá, é co-op, 4 player. Next one. Ah não, vai falar um pouco da Hair.
Everwild dará a você um mundo natural, mágico e
O Conner aí.
selvagem para você explorar e se perder. É um lugar para ser eternal. E a Eternal tem o dom de sentir seu fluxo mágico através da natureza e conecta todos os seres vivos. A equipe da Regras está muito feliz com esse trabalho da Everwild. E espero que vocês também estejam.
Zeldinha do Xbox.
Mas gostaria de agradecer a
É bem parecido o gráfico.
que nos apoiaram, pelo carinho e pela incrível e positiva comunidade que já se formou a partir desse jogo. Muito obrigada.
Eu acho que não vai ter nada da Warner, não. Acho que só vai ser jogo. Se tiver alguma coisa de estudo, deve ser em agosto, cara. Que é uma parte mais técnica. E eles devem guardar algo também para dar um contra-ataque na Sony também, né? Olha lá o joguinho do Call the Spirit aí, ó. Tell me why. Tell me why, Call the Spirit. Olha o joguinho do Call the Spirit aí.
We all believed that what happened that night was self-defense. But we couldn't be sure.
It doesn't matter that they kept us apart.
Brother, sister, we look out for each other.
It doesn't matter that
Esse aí é 1000 GIs, deve ser.
feels impossible.
We're all done with fairy tales.
The only thing that matters is you're my brother. And the only way to move forward is to keep looking back.
We've been getting these visions whenever we see or hear something really emotional. Everything we thought we knew about Marianne just got thrown out the window.
She loved you. She attacked you. We both saw it.
Tell me why.
I thought
É o jogo do Call the Spirit isso aí. Call the Spirit, tell me why.
Nothing good comes from stirring up old memories.
We don't really have a choice about that.
There's always a choice, son.
I can't do this. Stop!
Capítulo 1, dia 27 de agosto aí, ó. Mês que vem já tá aí já, ó. Aí, Codesphere. Mês que vem, tell me why. Algum estúdio, eita, DLC ou jogo novo?
Oi, pessoal. Meu nome é Gennady. Eu sou cofundador e diretor de tecnologia da Moon Studios. Hoje é com muita alegria que anunciamos que estamos trabalhando numa versão muito especial do Ori and the Will of the Wisps, especificamente para o Xbox Series X.
Remaster,
Estamos no
remake, sei lá.
momento em que podemos alcançar níveis de fidelidade e quadros por segundo nunca antes possível em qualquer console. Um jogo como Ori pode agora rodar a 120
Olha lá,
Hz
120
na sua
FPS
alta
do
qualidade,
primeiro Ori
oferecendo
no
um
Xbox
jogo
Series
sem
X.
precedentes com animação suave e sedosa, imagem nítida e com baixa latência, que é tão importante para se ter um jogo preciso. Podemos aumentar a imersão em diferentes espaços usando a tecnologia premium de áudio, que antes não era possível simular em tempo real. E com todo esse poder de hardware, podemos oferecer aos nossos jogadores
A internet,
mais opções
mano, a
de como
internet.
querem jogar. Queremos que todos vocês experimentem essa versão muito especial da Ori, chegando a Xbox Series X com Smart Delivery ainda este ano.
Volta, filho da puta. Mano, não dá, velho. Division.
From the furthest reaches of the universe comes the biggest mystery in the galaxy.
An abandoned research facility.
Calma, gente, voltou essa porra aí, mano. Eu vou acabar aqui, eu vou ligar de novo lá, velho. Não dá não, velho. Não dá pra ficar desse jeito não.
Full of salacious secrets and scandalous strangers.
Greetings, attractive patron. You are looking downright unlovely.
Ah, deve ser pro The Older World.
With the right kind of case,
They wanted us to develop a miracle drug.
can put you on the wrong side of a gun. Or sword. Or this thing. Thrills. Danger. Intrigue.
A word of advice before you go, Captain? Trust no one.
What will you find on Gorgon?
De novo, né? Vou ter que ligar de novo. Eu liguei no meio da live aí, vou ter que ligar de novo.
This unit cannot bring you any drinks in its current state.
9 de setembro. Ó, quase meu aniversário. Ó, o Grounded.
If you're waiting,
Esse aí nós vamos jogar, hein?
game of the year
Então, aí que tá, né? Será que vai estar grátis no
for Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk?
But if you're ready for the smallest, we've got you covered. From Obsidian Entertainment, the makers of games that are nothing like this one. This summer, strive together to thrive together. Or just feed your friend to the spiders and go solo.
E aí, quem vai jogar? Quem vai jogar? Tem que formar um squad aí, 4 pessoas aí. Quem vai? Quem vai? Esse aí eu vou jogar Day One, mano. Sobrevivência. Isso aí é 10-0 na merda de Rust. Grounded, Rust.
Na Obsidian, Estamos dedicados
Ó,
a
Fergus.
promover nossos jogos de role. Fazemos
VG e
isso todos
Scorpio.
os dias quando chegamos ao escritório. Queremos que você jogue a próxima grande
Isso.
aventura
Fala que vai estar
de
DLC no
Harry
Game
Potter. É o
Pass.
primeiro de 2 pacotes de expansão de histórias para o mundo exterior que estamos desenvolvendo com os nossos amigos da Private Division. É importante também evoluir a maneira como contamos histórias e jogos. E Grounded é um exemplo perfeito disso. Temos trabalhado muito nos últimos 2 anos em como contar uma história Obsidian. Agora você poderá jogar no dia 28 de julho na pré-visualização do Xbox Games e ter acesso antecipados ao stream. Queremos te ouvir e queremos continuar construindo juntos. Ah, e se você estiver curioso, sim, estamos trabalhando nesse grande
Opa,
RPG
agora
Obsidian.
o RPG novo. Vamos ver o que ela vai fazer. Um RPG novo. O que vamos ter por aí?
We have always known war. It forged our empire. Turned heroes into queens and kings. And decimated our foes.
Ah, mano. Caveira?
Now our oaths are lost. Forsaken.
Ó.
And you must face the monsters our sins have borne.
Ó, Senhor dos Anéis. You shall not pass.
Is an oath.
Cadê o nome?
Of a crown.
Avoid. É isso? Da hora. Não mostrou muita coisa. Será que é a primeira pessoa? Vai lembrar o Skyrim, né? Skyrim.
Avowed é um RPG.
Aí, se tiver estúdio novo é agora. Se tiver estúdio novo é agora.
Quando Obsidian Entertainment entrou na Xbox Game Studios, eles nos disseram que era esse jogo épico que eles queriam fazer. Como criadores de RPGs aclamados pela crítica, é a Obsidian na sua melhor forma. Está sendo construída para aproveitar ao máximo o poder do Xbox Series X. No Xbox Game Studios, também trabalhamos com desenvolvedores independentes, sempre com o objetivo de capacitá-los a dar vida às suas ideias. Gostaria de anunciar nosso trabalho com o Interior Night, um novo estúdio liderado por alguns dos contadores de histórias mais talentosos no setor. Conheçam agora Caroline Marshall, diretora da Interior Night, para estrear seu jogo original.
Interior Night.
Bonjour. Eu sou Caroline,
Bonjour.
do Interior Night. Nossa equipe é apaixonada por contar histórias interativas, porque quando você joga...
Eu acho que não vai ter essas coisas não. Vai ter só se for em agosto.
Você sente seus medos, suas esperanças, seus conflitos em primeira mão. E no processo você aprende muito mais sobre você. E isso é muito poderoso. Nosso primeiro jogo passa 30 anos no sudoeste americano. É uma história sobre família, resiliência e sacrifício, mas acima de tudo é sobre como você moldará o destino de pessoas com falhas reais, tentando encontrar seu caminho no mundo no qual não se encaixam. Espero que gostem do trailer.
World Premiere.
Estreia mundial.
Xbox Game Studio? É um outro estúdio novo ou é um da Global Publish? Ixi, a hora do flag.
We were on our way to start a new life that summer. For our family, it was just a stopover.
For mine, it was the end of the road.
Eu acho que é o Telltale isso aí. O gráfico tá um estilo da hora, né, cara? Parece que é uma foto meio trabalhada, tipo... um frame de um coisa, ele meio pixelado.
Não. It was a long forgotten secret, buried in the dark.
All my life, I've been scared of the shadows. But now, I'm finally ready to step into the light. I got your letters.
As Dusk Falls. Game Pass. Easy 1000G. Ninja Theory.
Aqui em Ninja Theory trabalhamos duro em todos os nossos projetos, incluindo Senua Saga, Hellblade 2, que anunciamos no Game Awards.
Vai, mostra um gameplayzinho aí, né, mano?
Mais de 3 milhões de jogadores já vivenciaram a história de Senua e o Hellblade Senua Sacrifice. Gostaríamos de dar uma ideia para vocês do que vem a seguir para o nosso guerreiro Celta.
Vamos lá.
Uma experiência que criaremos no Engine 5 para o Xbox Series X.
Gameplay. Quero gameplay. Gameplay, porra.
Terá a bela Islândia como locação. E você pode descobrir mais sobre a nossa locação e sobre a história de nosso cenário em um novo diário de desenvolvimento dos bastidores que você pode assistir.
Olha lá, tá então um paredão ali no meio do negócio, velho, que da hora.
Ninja Theory no YouTube.
Não, eu não quero ver no YouTube, eu quero ver agora.
Foi muito emocionante ver o impacto que o Hellblade Senua Sacrifice teve em tantos jogadores. Estamos muito agradecidos a todos os fãs que fizeram parte da história de Senua até agora. Estamos muito felizes por vocês estarem fazendo parte dessa jornada daqui em diante.
Opa, é agora, hein? Ou não, ou já passou pra outro. Eu acho que já passou pra outro. Não mostrou nada, mano. Ah. Agora é a Double Fine, certeza. Double Fine ou a Compulsion? Ah, Double Fine, pronto. Respondeu.
Quer dizer, oi, é Peter, ele está aqui na linha. Oh, Peter está sentado aqui o tempo todo. Quem escreveu a música? Peter. Ah, Peter. Trabalho fantástico.
Brutal Legend 2, pronto.
Obrigada, vai ser divertido cantar.
Ah, não, música não.
Agora é hora
Olha lá o
de
Jack Black.
curtir. Vamos curtir então.
É nada. Psychonauts 2. Você que era Brutal Legend 2.
Probably been a long time since you've had a visitor. I hope you don't mind pop-ins. Where are we?
It's a quiet place.
Lost alone, neither skin nor bone. Just a thought is all I.
Eu acho que essa não tem perigo da Fleck, que é um estúdio da Microsoft e própria coisa. Esse acho que tá de boa.
At the bottom of a lake, a frozen feeling. When my friends pulled me back up, I started
Disney!
now I can feel out the galaxy and hear the flow of time. Been so tense, but now I sense a reason to this rhyme. And I can smell the universe, and I can taste the sky, and I can see each molecule through my cosmic eye. Senses are the magic keys. They fill the holes I've had, unlocking all my memories,
Psicodélico esse jogo.
which I never
E o G de 20 minutos vai nessa. Esse aqui é jogo completo, mano. Esse jogo não vai ser fácil, não.
Queremos que você experimente os incríveis jogos da Xbox Game Studios e há muito mais para você jogar no Xbox. Estamos em parceria com milhares de criadores, desde
Cadê o
os
Fable?
maiores editores
Fable
até
deve
os
ser para
menores
fechar o programa.
desenvolvedores independentes para oferecer a maior variedade de jogos de todos os tempos. Há um desenvolvedor que é muito próximo de nós, não apenas geograficamente, mas
Ixi,
também na
a Band,
história. Gostaria de anunciar que neste outono nossos amigos da Band levarão Destiny 2 para o Xbox Series X e Xbox Game
Sabia.
Pass.
Olha lá,
Se
vai estar o
você
Destiny 2 no
é
Game
um dos
Pass.
de mais de 10 milhões de assinantes do Game Pass, também terá acesso a todas as expansões
Aí
atuais
sim.
do Destiny 2 a partir
Todas as
de
expansões do
setembro.
Destiny juntos
Para
no Game
membros
Pass.
do
Aí eu
Ultimate
gostei.
Game Pass,
Sem
Destiny
DLC, aí eu
2
jogo.
também será possível jogar nos aparelhos
Aí eu
móveis
jogo.
a partir da nuvem. No final deste ano, a Band também lançará uma nova versão do Destiny 2 otimizada para Xbox
Destiny 2 com todas as DLC.
resolução de 4K a 60
Não mostrou nada do
quadros por
Hellblade.
segundo. E aqui está uma nova visão do Destiny 2 Beyond Light da Band.
Ei, Band, você deve se arrependeu tanto de sair do Xbox, né? Tá doido pra voltar, né? É, eu também achei desnecessário. Só não mostrou nada, velho, de Hellblade. Se não for pra mostrar nada... Esse aí eu vou precisar de uns caras profissionais pra me carregar, hein.
Este é o Destiny 2 que você pode jogar da maneira
10 de
que
novembro
quiser,
no Game
graças
Pass.
ao Xbox Game Pass. Alguns dos desenvolvedores mais inspirados do mundo estão trabalhando em jogos para o Xbox Series
Ah, é?
X.
Muito?
Estamos
Ixi.
honrados de poder trabalhar com eles.
Ah, meu
Xbox
Fat com um
Series
HDzinho de
X capacitará
500.
criadores
100
novos
GB?
e
Tá, porra, mano.
experientes para darem vida aos jogos como nunca antes. Perspectivas únicas e inovações inesperadas, você precisa
Tem
descobrir.
The Last of Us.
Todos os jogos que verão agora estão sendo criados para serem lançados exclusivamente em consoles Xbox. Obrigada e divirta-se.
Aí, World Premiere.
Estreia mundial.
Console exclusivo. Ah, são jogos de terceiros agora. Games War. É um jogo de sobrevivência, de zumbi. Tirinho. Opa! Apocalipse. Fallout. Stage 3. Stage 3 já foi, passou. Anunciou, pila. Perdeu. Stage 3, mano. Sensacional o gráfico ali. What the fuck is this, man? Fallout? Exclusivo do Xbox. Exclusivo. Ah, perdeu um monte de jogo. Metrô, será que é Metrô? Não deve ser Metrô. Não, não é Metrô não. Metrô é de outra desenvolvedora. Ah, Stalker. Stalker 2. Nossa, esse jogo vai vir pra Xbox. Aí, da hora, gostei, achei da hora.
Estreia
World
mundial.
Premiere. Não, nada de Gears agora, nada da Coalition. Coalition não apareceu ainda. Forza apareceu. Ubisoft nada. Não, apareceu o Watch Dogs lá, apareceu sim. Aí, mais um jogo de tirinho? Jogo do urso. Mais um jogo de tirinho? É nóis, mano. Ih, apareceu Fear 4. Duvido muito, né? Microsoft adquiriu a Warning. Tem a Monolith Fear 4. Fat Shark. Tá lá, mano. First person. Aí é assim que eu gosto. Vixe. Mano, aquela arma ali não é diferente. Ah, é do Warhammer, cara. Esse jogo é do Warhammer lá. Aquela arma é do Warhammer. É a de laser lá, de plasma, cara. Olha lá, falei, ó. Warhammer Dark Tides. Não falou nada não. Não vai falar, eu acho aí não, pô. Se for, é só em agosto. Quando vai ser um evento mais técnico ali.
Estreia mundial.
Olha lá, outro exclusivo. Não, é lançamento. Isso aí depois sai pro PlayStation. Eu acho, esses jogos aí. What the hell is this? Vixe, é joguinho família. Já não gostei. Joguinho família. Tem Kid aparecendo coisa, então é que é jogo em família. Não é pra mim. Agora é a hora do flag, certeza. Tudo capturado no PlayStation. Fingindo que tá jogando. O que é isso? É Tetris? Tudo isso pra anunciar um Tetris. É o Tetris lá, o Battle Royale vai chegar lá do Xbox também. Tetris Effect. Tetris Mass Effect. Nossa. Esse eu passo.
Estreia mundial.
Aí, mais um launch exclusive. Dos criadores de Steam World.
Approaching orbit. Scans a no-go. Sure you want to drop here? Hell yeah. Already lacing up my boots back here.
Pac-Man Battle Royale.
What we got? Another good-for-nothing space rock?
Whoa. Hold on, let me check.
O que é isso aí? É o Ratchet & Clank do Xbox?
You're not gonna believe this.
Ratchet & Clank do Xbox. A mulher tem um aspirador na mão. Quero Gears. Quero Gears não. É, pô, acabou de lançar o Gears 5, o Gears Tactics, você quer mais Gears, tá doido? Tá achando que é miojo, é? Tá achando que é o jogo do urso? The Gunk. Olha lá, mais outro. Quem que é agora? Blue Blur Team, olha lá. Vamos ver o trailer do bagulho lá, do como é que chama? The Medium. The Medium. Do gameplay, quero ver gameplay, mano. Do The Medium. Ih, torrou a borboleta.
It all starts with a dead girl. A forest. The moon. Scent of pines.
Só pra startar mais um.
The gunshot.
Ah, não.
Every story has two sides. A regular, rational.
Ai, tá parecendo Silent Hill. A mulher vai lá.
But also a
Aí tem um negocinho.
truth.
É o Silent Hill do Xbox, mano.
I can see both. Worse, I can live them.
Tá parecendo uma mistura de Quantum Break com Evil Within, sei lá.
What is this place?
Cadê o Leandro Street 4? The Medium. É, parece que vai ser um jogo de terror da hora, mano. Só que não pareceu ter muita batalha ali, não.
Estreia mundial.
É mais se esconder. Aí, outro exclusivo. Ih, da SEGA exclusivo. Ah, é porcaria, pô. Sonic. O que tem na SEGA exclusivo? Persona. É o Phantasy Star Online. Ah. SEGA é porcaria. SEGA. Se fosse Nintendinho, SEGA. Eu também tô achando que não tem nada tão assim pra ser lançado só no Series X. Eu também não achei nada tão assim, nossa, só vai rodar no Series X. Eu achei muito preguiça. Vai desprocessar. Ah, beleza, legalzinho esse jogo aí. Phantasy Star, legalzinho. Vai falar, vai sair a versão do Xbox Series X do Phantasy Star Online 2. Olha lá, Series X, como 2021. Grande coisa. Outro jogo, vai. Chega de SEGA. SEGA. Opa! Agora sim. Que é isso? Que é isso? Será que é o jogo da... Ah, não. Da Remedy? Ah, é a campanha lá do Cross X Fire. Olha lá, sabia lá. Crossfire X, é a campanha. Esse vai ser da hora. Campanha pela Remedy. Parece o início do Gear 5 mesmo, né? Esse é Day One. A campanha, né? Não com aquele negócio online lá.
Soon, the entire world will burn, all because of him.
É, Crisis.
Hoje você viu 10
Ih, eu acho que acabou e não mostrou o Fable não, hein?
de 2 lançamentos exclusivos de console. Os membros do Game Pass poderão jogar todos os
No
jogos
Fable!
hoje do Xbox Game Studios e de todos os nossos
Stage 3, olha lá, Stage 3, ó. Olha, você tá louco. Aí, ó, cadê o Gear Statics no Xbox, seu puto?
Novos títulos da Xbox Series X. E alguns dos jogos que você já ama e outros que ainda não jogaram também serão otimizados para o Xbox Series X. Você receberá as últimas atualizações de jogos como Forza Horizon 4, Gear 5 e Sea of Thieves sem custo adicional quando forem lançadas. Podem esperar mais de 100 títulos para o Xbox Series X no final do ano. Com a Series X e o Game Pass, o
Ih, eles seguraram mais jogos para agosto.
E você está no centro de tudo que fazemos.
Não mostrou da
Você
iniciativa?
deve ter notado que
ela não visitou todos, ela ia falar.
Xbox Game Studios hoje, o que significa que teremos mais para compartilhar ainda este ano. Mas até lá, fique com
é Fable agora. Agora é Fable!
Estreia mundial.
Fable ou é o da iniciativa? Vamos ver qual que é. Fable. Pronto. Playground é lá, Fable. Já era. Pronto. Valeu, galera. Tá, porra, mano. Vamos ver Fable, cara.
The world is filled with stories of legendary heroes and treacherous villains, of fantastical creatures and wondrous places where nature and magic live in perfect harmony. Not all stories have happy endings, but yours
Fable!
has yet to be written.
Vai ser reboot. Reboot. Acabou. Agora acabou. Tá porra, reboot de Fable, mano. Tá bonitão mesmo, gráfico, hein? Time flag. Lá vem a flag de novo. Agora tem que voltar lá no Kojima Boy, que vai ter coisa nele lá. Attention, I want attention. Give me attention. Stage 3. Ai. Ou seja, esse final do ano eu vou estar jogando Stage 3. Será que é final do ano? Nem vi. Thank you. Vamos voltar lá no Kojima Boy. Cadê ele?
The announcement of a brand new Fable and our first look at the gameplay of Halo Infinite. We now have a post show with some developers joining us, as well as Aaron Greenberg from Xbox. Luke Smith from Bungie is going to be with us as well. Tim Schafer and much more. And of course, we want your reactions to hear what you guys think. I just posted a poll on Twitter. How would you grade Xbox in the press conference and what they did? We want to hear your opinion on it and what Xbox showed across their entire portfolio. One interesting thing, everything they showed today was an Xbox Game Pass game, which, you know, is pretty impressive that all those titles are going to be on Game Pass. But of course, they're probably games that you wanted to see there that you may not have seen. So we want to hear what people think, but we've got our panel now to react to everything, to tell us what they thought. You heard leading in
o
what their
Ford acho que é
expectations
reboot.
were.
Vai ser o
Everyone's
reboot da
excited about
série.
the Balan announcement in the pre-show. How did Xbox do in the main show? Well, let's welcome them back again. We've got Matt, Pat, JD, and Allegra, fresh off the live showcase. We were all watching it. So I've done a lot of talking. Matt, let's start with you. What did you think?
Alguém tá soprando
I
no
thought,
microfone.
you know, Jeff, I think you had some of the biggest announcements. So the conference itself, I'd give it like B+. The pre-show where you announced Balan Wonderland, you showed a brief clip of 12 minutes. Hello Neighbor 2, which I kind of hate that whole franchise. I have a whole history with it, but I appreciate that it was there. You know, I got to say the pre-show pushed it into A territory for me. Infinite looked great. I was glad to see that it wasn't just like an Infinite pay-to-play kind of game where that there's an actual storyline, that there's an actual campaign that you're going to play through. The Forza graphics really showed off the power of the console, and I'm not even a graphics guy. So yeah, across the board, like there was a lot of CGI cutscenes, there was a lot of, you know, not in-game moments, but I was really excited. I thought they did a solid job of showing off the breadth of it, and the true winner outside of the pre-show.
Cadê o Cuphead?
Cuphead
foi embora.
That's going to be their big money maker. Get people to try a lot of these games and hop aboard the subscription train. I think it's a smart move on their part, and that's the winner of this press conference.
Yep. I agree. No, it is pretty impressive that all those games are going to be in Game Pass. Allegra, you wanted some
Battletoads também, verdade. Esse Battletoads aí tá esquecido também.
Games on it, you know, Halo. I don't know if it's so. You had your bathroom break, but I don't know if you got to catch a little bit of it at the end there. But what was your overall impression of what they did? I think one thing that a lot of people online were saying, you know, they wanted to see the power of that next-gen box, you know, where they were taking kind of games and graphics, as Matt said, you know, definitely some CG teasers in there for State of Decay, Fable, whatnot. What grabbed your attention? How would you grade what they did?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely did take my bathroom break during Halo. I feel like when I came back, it was still going. So I'm glad you guys got, you know, your infinite amounts of Halo, haha. I thought there was actually a good mix of games that are both going to be coming out soon, and then games obviously that are very much in the works. You know, we have no real idea of when we'll see them. So, you know, that game Grounded, I thought looked kind of cool, especially that it's coming out in the summer. I was happy to see that Tell Me Why, the first chapter, would be coming out in August. I mean, it's always great that, you know, when an event has games that we can actually anticipate with a concrete end date. But I also was really impressed that there was a good focus on original games. I was really excited to see the As Dusk Falls trailer. I thought that looked really great. And Everwild looks amazing. That game is really beautiful. A lot of great games with wonderful art design. But yeah, I mean, I think in terms of showing off the new console, it seemed as though a lot of the games that we saw are compatible with the Xbox One as well, or we just saw, as you totally mentioned, CG teasers. But the Ori, I guess, upgrade for Xbox Series X looks amazing. Like, that looked fantastic. So that was a really cool little teaser for what to kind of expect from the new console, even if it's an existing game, just kind of redone for Series X.
So what letter grade would you give them here?
I don't believe in letter grades. I'm one of those unschooling people. So yeah, we don't.
Também
do
quer dar
letter grades.
notinha. Não vou dar notinha.
I mean, I'd probably give
Do you
it
thumbs up or down, or how do you like to judge
No,
stuff?
I mean, I would, if I'm going to adhere to the Jeff Keighley scale, I would say probably B+ as well. I actually thought it was, there was a good breadth and diversity of games shown. Game Pass
Não quero dar
was
notinha, que isso
definitely
pode
the star of the show, as
chatear
you
algumas
guys mentioned.
pessoas.
And I think it's cool that they're leaning into that program.
Yep, absolutely. All right, JD, you put your Master Chief helmet aside. We got to see a lot of Chief. I thought that opening kind of CG lead into the Halo piece was so beautiful. I mean, it was epic. When you actually got to see the game and the gameplay, and that was a real demo. I mean, they said, press here to play the demo. What was your takes? Halo back?
I love Halo,
Follow.
and I've beaten all the previous games and all the side games minus the Halo War series. I'm not a top-down guy, but I'm one of those people who's watching it and I'm like, wait, I'm confused on the story. That's the one thing that's kind of throwing me right now. I mean, I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. But I like the gameplay. We have a grappling hook. I'm a fan. We're like Spider-Man now with a gun, so I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited about the other games that we saw. State of Decay 3. I've never been more scared of deers. Bambi's not going to be the same anymore. Regardless of that, Fable at the end. I didn't think that was going to happen, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So they touched on that. I think we got a lot of decent stuff. Letter grade wise, I give it a B. I give it a B+, A-. It was one of the things where they're showing you what they're capable of. We're all aware that the console is going to be very powerful. Everybody wants to know when it's coming out and when we can expect it and when we can put pre-orders in. But from what I saw, I enjoyed it. I think they came swinging.
Yeah, no, and as everyone's mentioned, Game Pass will obviously allow you to play across
Eu
multiple
acho que eles
devices
fizeram o
as well.
seguinte,
So,
ó,
as you said, it's
nessa
a bit,
apresentação.
their philosophy is not
Eles
all
mostraram
about
os
getting an
jogos
upgrade to Series X,
das
right?
desenvolvedoras
So,
que
you have a
todo mundo
PC
praticamente já
now,
sabia
or
que ia sair.
or, even a existing
Fable,
Xbox. Looked like
Stage
everything in
3,
that
sabe?
showcase
Dessas
will be on Game
empresas
Pass
que
and also be available
praticamente
potentially on
faz
the device you
o
already
trabalho
have.
nenhuma
So it's
IP.
less of a
Que
story
todo,
of
vamos
get
dizer,
you to
todo mundo já
upgrade to the
sabia
new
mais ou
machine.
menos ali, mas não tinha
That
confirmação.
said, Matt, when you look at
Os
that,
outros jogos que são você
this fall,
IP
you
nova e
gotta
outras
buy one
coisas,
first, maybe buy both,
eu acho que eles estão deixando para
PlayStation or
agosto
Xbox. Like,
ou
how
outro evento.
did it do enough to convince you
Tipo,
like this should be in
o
first
jogo da
position?
Initiative,
Honestly,
da
that's the question that I was asking
Compulsion
myself the
e por
entire
aí vai,
time
outros
watching the
desenvolvedores aí.
conference, and I gotta say, Xbox sold me on the need for it being next gen more than PlayStation. And I feel bad saying that because I think last generation I skewed more into PS5 or PS4 territory.
Right.
But I really love the games that they
Eu não vi
showcased.
data
I
também.
love the
Eu não
fact
vi,
that
preciso
they're
reolhar
really
depois do
into
trailer.
the ID at Microsoft program and some of those indie ideas that are kind of you see surfacing and you're starting to see them kind of bubble up and get more of a spotlight. I love the emphasis that they have on that. And, they do have a lot of big titles that, are coming down the pipeline. And I know that you think we're joking, Jeff, about Balan Wonderworld, but I gotta say that I felt so emotional watching them talk about that game and seeing that style of game.
Também acho, mas eu acho que eles estão seguraram ainda um pouquinho por causa da Sony ainda, em agosto. Porque a Sony segurou também. Você acha que aquele evento da Sony deve ser tudo que eles têm? Deve ter mais alguma coisa, pelo menos uma coisa eles devem ter.
All right, I like it. Matt Pat Balan. That's the no. I said I think there was a
Sim,
whimsy
concordo.
yeah, it's just he said, and Yuji Naka coming back doing that. I think he said like, I love that game where the world needs a little bit more of that, right? And a few less zombies and a few less guys.
Mas não foi um show ruim.
Fun and,
comparado com o da Sony foi muito melhor. Muito melhor. A única coisa que eu senti falta, vamos dizer assim, que faltou, tirando o jogo do Halo que teve, praticamente quase todos os outros não teve muito trailer de gameplay. Foi muita CG. Eu gostaria que tivesse ali pelo menos um minutinho de gameplay só, sabe? Mostra ali uma cutscene rapidinho e um pouquinho de gameplay. O cara jogando meio que nem tem com o Halo ali. Eu acho que a Microsoft faltou. Tá faltando um pouquinho disso. Todo evento dela ela não tá colocando isso.
Microsoft platform for the first first time I'm thinking about when they announced Final Fantasy 15 would be on the Xbox.
Seja é legal, mas
that, where it's very,
coloque pouquinho de gameplay, mano, pra ter essa ideia do jogo ali.
Which I really thrive on those moments. I think we all kind of do. So it didn't really have
isso que é foda. Cita o jogo lá e não mostra nada, Isso aí é pra ficar puto.
I would agree. No, I think that's the thing. As you said, there was kind of things we knew, and yes, there's a new Forza coming. I guess probably the biggest surprise might have been, Obsidian's Avowed, which is at least, reveal of a new game. But he said that's expected. They're a first-party studio. They make RPGs, so they're making another one. But you're right. Wasn't some, there were rumors before of like, oh, there's going to be a Ninja Gaiden, or there'll be other, other things. And even on the third-party side, one thing I think was notable is that every game in there was on Game Pass. I think that meant a lot of games weren't included because they might not be on Game Pass. So people were, wondering like, where was Cyberpunk? Where was Elden Ring? And, things like that, and all these big expectations. But it was more focused on the first party sort of studios overall. I'm curious to get your take, like, in the environment we're in this year, out of all the games that were there and Game Pass, is that changing how you guys are going to play games or thinking about games? We're in this world where these live service games are out there. As you said, effectively with that, you're never going to have to pay $60 to play any of those games. Do you think, is that going to change how we play games moving forward? Because it is a bit of a difference in philosophy to sort of other platforms, that it's more Netflix-like, and that you're going to get to sample a bunch of games. Is Game Pass, is it changing how you guys are playing games now, or do you think it's going to change moving forward?
I mean, I definitely think it's a really smart initiative that Microsoft has and that it owns. I mean, Sony has PS Now, but like, LOL, right? So, and Nintendo doesn't quite have anything like that other than NES and SNES Online. So Microsoft really owns the streaming, but for games side of the industry. And I think people are attracted
E no
to it,
Bolsonaro do
and the fact that it
Cyberpunk
really
também, né? A
is
Microsoft tem os
pushing it so
direitos
hard. I
do
think it's
bagulho,
going
né,
to
mano?
be something that
Eu tô achando que ela deixou
might
muita
become
coisa pra
industry
agosto
standard
mesmo.
that Sony and Nintendo will have to
Tipo,
react to
jogos de
for the next
terceiro e
generation,
algumas
which
desenvolvedoras
is
dela.
interesting, I think, and encouraging people to
Ela fez de
sample a
novo,
ton of
segurou
games
pouco. Ela mostrou bem
definitely
mais,
is
só que ela
an
segurou pouco.
appealing
Não teve anúncio
sort
de
of
estúdios, né? Como eu falei.
sort of
Eles já tinham avisado que era só
pitch.
jogo.
And I know I froze there for a second, but I'm back.
Yeah, to me,
That's okay.
it's so pro-consumer, and it gives the power back to the player, right? Where, for a long time, I mean, in the early days, old man Matt Pat here, you could rent games, right? You could see if you could beat it in a period of days, or if it was a game that you wanted to kind of pursue. And there's been this kind of like nebulous area where you either have to kind of fully commit to the game or not. For a really long time, there hasn't been kind of a good solution since that era, really. And like, there's been ideas here and there, but what this does is it allows players to sample such a huge variety of different games, really find games that interest them.
Será que vai ficar só nessa conversa fiada, mano? Eu vou esperar mais uns 15 minutos. Se não ficar só nessa conversa fiada, eu vou fechar isso aqui e vou abrir uma gameplay aí.
Right? And so, hey,
Vou jogar.
I've grown up as a first-person shooter guy, but wow, that indie game is just available right there. Let me check it out because I saw someone on YouTube play it, or my friends talked about it, or whatever. Suddenly, you're drawn into a whole other world of gaming that, who knows, you might like and want to explore and find, your new favorite title in. And I think that is so exciting. I think it's so forward-facing, and like I said,
Pareceu o Mario lá, é verdade, é. Pareceu da hora mesmo. Pareceu o Mario.
As well as giving so many more studios a chance to have their work seen by more people, which I think is good all across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's just it. I look at some of those games in there, Tell Me Why or Psychonauts, or games that people might, not necessarily buy right out of the gate for $60, but now they're like, hey, I can experiment with it, I can play it, and you might get hooked and have more stuff to play. JD, are you finding, like, you talk about Halo, that's a game I'm sure you would pay $60 for, but hey, that's coming in Game Pass. So does that open you up to, do you think, playing more of these games than normal?
Yeah, definitely with Game Pass and just the option to stream games. I mean, I'm looking forward to what the future has when it comes to being able to do that, because like most people, I have Game Pass as well. So if it's just a simple download compared to maybe, I don't know, getting like the limited edition box set or a physical copy, I probably will do that because it'll probably be easier to hop online and play with friends. And I feel like just that whole concept of Game Pass being able to, stream games simultaneously, maybe across different devices, and just having that type of freedom, will make things easier for future gamers so that they can open up and just have fun with it. But I wanted to say to you and Matt, hey, going back to our deadlock debate, Matt, is hype killing video games? Remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good
I
4
literally
years
just
ago. I
pulled
remember
that
that.
up.
That's right. No, I mean, look, there's a whole there's a hype cycle to this stuff where we saw a lot of, CG trailers for games that are probably years off and whatnot. And I think one thing a lot of people did say, I saw in the chat and online, and people were like, they want to see more gameplay, right? We got to see a Halo demo, but everything else was like a very tightly wound trailer. And I think we're in an age now, people just want to see Let's Play, just, see games. And you do wonder, like, that Fable teaser, like, you don't really learn much about the game at all, right? And it's sort of like it's a fancy logo sequence. And now it's like people are like, when do we wait to actually see the game? So did you guys it's a good question. Do you think they showed enough gameplay? Like, is it the style of the presentation? And, the event in May, I think people criticized them for saying it was gameplay and it wasn't. And, this felt it was a more polished presentation overall and how they presented it. But it's a good question, even compared to the big E3 press conference that we always go to. They couldn't do that this year. Was this a good approximation? Like, what did you think of how they delivered the news?
Matt, start with you. At this point, for these big events and these big conferences, I'm so used to just seeing a bunch of CG that I'm willing to forgive it a little bit more. The nice thing about E3, right, is usually they show you the beautiful like front piece. Here's us with our pretty title card, and then you can roll onto the show floor and actually get.
Aí só falando na questão de gameplay, aí eu também senti falta que teve muito jogo que passou só cutscene ali, só CG, teaser e não mostrou nada, velho. O único que foi bem aprofundado mesmo foi o Halo. O Halo mostrou CG, mostrou gameplay ali mesmo pra saber como é que tá o jogo. Vamos dizer, o Halo vendeu ali, o Halo fez seu papel ali. Agora praticamente quase todos os outros não teve gameplay direito não.
Considering all the delivery pipeline, because every single piece is coming from a different part of the world, and factories have been out of work for a long time. There's been a lot of changes to the system, so I'm just still excited that this is still a year where gaming is stepping forward and able to provide us entertainment, and that everything didn't have to get shifted to 2021. And so I'm more forgiving this year than I think I would be other years.
Yep. No, I think that's a good point. And even with the expectations for some of these announcements and press conferences, you said games are being built, work from home. And I say to people, like, in some ways, the best anyone can do is a B this year just because of like the challenging circumstances we're in. But a lot of the fans think, hey, no, I want all my announcements. And as you said, it's been really hard to make games and make these trailers. Allegra, what about, we're all watching these from home. We're not at this big live event. How did it didn't have the surprise, as you said, that, the audible wow in the audience, right? And the energy of Keanu, showing up as a surprise last year and things like that. How did you think of how Xbox presented their story in this format this year?
I think they did
sim, exatamente. Foi satisfatório. Mostrou muita coisa. Mas poderia ser melhor com essa parte de gameplay aí.
I'm pretty accustomed to the Nintendo Direct format at this point.
Exatamente, Gustavo.
It is that sort of presentation, there's no interactive or
não foi ruim. Mostrou muito jogo ali fora, mas faltou aquela gameplayzinha pra saber como que é o negócio ali, né, mano?
But I did appreciate, having developers and directors and producers
tipo, é que nem quando você passa assim do lado da padaria, assim, ó. Tem aquele cheirinho gostoso, mas você não pode experimentar. Pô, só sentir o cheirinho só.
I mean, as we have all said, like, we do miss that. We do miss being able to really react all together live.
Não tem ali a gameplay, pô, caralho, eu queria ver como que tava o Stage 3 ali. Faltou o tempero de carne, né?
Implausibility that we
como tava o gameplay do State ali, sei lá, do Fable, pelo menos pouquinho ali, né, pra ver
as Matt said,
como que vai ser, né, mano?
It would be great to be able to go hands-on with some of this stuff, and that's one thing that we sort of miss now, is like that Halo demo looks great.
Precisa ser uma demo, que nem foi o Halo ali, mas tipo, só pra mostrar ali, falar, ó, esse jeito aqui vai ser, o resto a gente imagina.
It still says Holiday 2020. We didn't see multiplayer, like Holiday's coming soon, right? And I think that's what's interesting with a lot of these games. It's like, are they really going to make it? What are they going to look like? And it's, they're big games coming this holiday that we didn't see. I mean, you know, Assassins we saw at the Ubisoft event. Cyberpunk, you know, probably one of the biggest games the second half of the year. They're doing their own Night City Wires. So it's like we didn't see that. And that potentially could be one of the biggest games for Xbox. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate you dropping by. Seems like positive grades across the board. Yes, Matt?
Jeff, I wanted one last prediction for everyone here. This is the question that's still, I think, on everyone's mind. PlayStation or Xbox, who's going to break first? Oh, no. Who's going to break first? And can you hear me at least?
The Nintendo Ninjas got mad.
The battery went out, I think.
Damn it. Who's going to break first and reveal the price? That's my question.
Okay. Well, that's a good point. We'll let Matt recharge his battery. Thanks to Allegra and JD. But
acabou a bateria da câmera.
The price is
Olha lá, acabou a
big
pilinha.
question mark around the different systems. There's obviously rumors that there could be a second kind of version of Xbox Series X, codenamed Lockhart, that there's been a lot of rumors about. PlayStation has already revealed that there's going to be an all-digital PS5 and the full system. But you're right, the date and also the price of these systems, when are we going to get to find out what they're going to cost and what will be the differential there? Didn't hear anything about hardware today, which we weren't expecting to. Xbox kind of managed expectations that we weren't going to hear about hardware. It was going to be a game showcase, but that's probably one of the next phases. And the thing now this year, without the big E3 events, I think these companies are spreading their news out a little bit. And we've seen that with Summer Game Fest. I expect we're going to see more events from, you know, Xbox and PlayStation in the coming months to share additional news.
Mano, se não saiu o preço em agosto, vocês estão de sacanagem,
last
velho.
week, they already said we're doing another one in
Tem
September.
que sair o preço e mostrar tudo que tem logo no console, velho. Estão enrolando demais. Tá duas empresas, uma com medo da outra ali segurando.
One of the bigger Xbox events with a lot of games and content across the board. So thanks again to Matt, Allegra, and JD for joining us. And now we've got some special guests to talk about all the content and answer your questions. And joining us right now, live from an undisclosed location, is Xbox's Aaron Greenberg to talk about all the news that Xbox shared inside of the press briefing today, including Halo Infinite and a bunch of other titles. Aaron is heads up all the marketing for all the Xbox first-party games. So there were a lot of first-party games today, obviously with with Halo Infinite and the reveal of a new Fable as well coming from Playground Games. So there he is. It is Halo shirt. Aaron Greenberg, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to be with you, Jeff. I wish we were in LA at E3 and celebrating, like you guys were saying, letting people get hands-on, but it's just good to have the show done and everything worked, and it's nice to see fans and partners and everyone reacting pretty positively.
Yeah, no, this was a big moment. I know you and the team worked really hard to to get all the games ready for today under these insane conditions to develop these titles. But let's start off with the shirt that you're wearing and Halo Infinite. We got to see a beautiful kind of story piece and then a real demo of the gameplay of Halo Infinite, and definitely looks like the team is kind of going back to the roots of Halo, though adding some new things like the grappling hook. Tell us a bit about what did you guys want to communicate with this demo of Halo? We've obviously seen some trailers before, but this was raw gameplay. What do you hope fans took away from this demo?
Yeah, I mean, I think for many people, whether you're new to the franchise or existing fans, I think we all remember the Halo Combat Evolved, and really, this is a spiritual reboot of that. And so how do we kind of take the OG Halo and modernize it? And I think what you've seen is the benefit of things like the Slipstream engine, Halo's take on an open and expansive world, seeing additions with things like the grappling hook. And, it's all Chief all the time. And I think that I think the team at 343 has done a great job creating the Halo game that I think the world needs right now, and more than anything. And so that's been the focus. We've been anxious to let people see Halo true gameplay, big campaign demo. That's what we opened the show with. And team's working hard, and we're excited.
Faltou isso aí, um monte de jogo, tipo uma gameplayzinha ali, ó.
Yeah, we obviously saw, Xbox Series X gameplay on that. One thing that, is unique this time is that this Halo game will, it will work on your current Xbox. It'll work on your PC. Can you maybe explain sort of like what the team is going to be able to do with Series X with that game that will be sort of, take it to the next level beyond sort of it working on the current systems? And I'm sure it's a challenge to make it work across everything, but I know Phil Spencer said it's going to be more PC-like and that it will be optimized for, higher powered machines. Tell us maybe a bit about like when you have those 12 teraflops, what the game is going to be able to do that will really show off Series X.
Yeah, I mean, what you're going to see from our first-party teams is that they're developing these games natively for Xbox Series X. So they're going to first focus on getting the most power, the most performance out of that. So this will take full advantage of all the benefits of Series X. You're right, the 12 teraflops, the instant gaming you get from the SSD, the instant switching. You can see the lighting, a lot of the benefits from the engine. So the more expansive worlds, just tons and tons of benefits there. With that said, we want to create a game that Xbox One fans can also play, that PC gamers can also play. And I think as you've seen what Phil outlined in his Player First post recently, is that we want our fans this holiday to be able to play Halo wherever they want to play it. And whenever they're ready to upgrade to next gen, we will give them the Xbox Series X upgrade of Halo Infinite at no additional cost. By the way, if you're a Game Pass member, you get the game at launch, but we're building this game so that if you get it in Game Pass, you can play it on Xbox One, on the PC, and on Series X, and you never get charged more than once for a game, whether you buy it or get it in the subscription.
One thing that's sort of a silly question, but I'm sure some people will wonder, is now that everything's in Game Pass, people love their like collector's editions and things like that for Halo, the Master Chief helmets and whatnot. How are you guys approaching that stuff if all these things are in Game Pass? Will you still have collector's editions, or how will you handle that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we're working with retail partners around the world. There'll be like special steel books and things like that for people that want that. We know there's a fan that wants
quero
to
mídia física.
buy the game, have the physical
quero
disc, and they
físico.
want to have that steel book, and they want to have something collectible that they can add to their collections. And always loving fans send me tweets with pictures that they've literally from the original Halo. So we will make that available. We also know for a lot of fans, like, maybe they wouldn't buy Halo, but if it's included in their Game Pass subscription, they'll try it. We think they're going to love it, and that makes a better experience for everyone. To have more people in multiplayer, have more people playing Halo, building a bigger community is good, not just for our internal studios, but also for our third-party partners. So we're going to give people choice in how they play, and of course, we'll still support the physical editions as well.
Awesome. And Chris, studio head, was in there talking about, or head of the game, talking about single player, and multiplayer is obviously going to be a big part of the experience as well. Probably not a ton to share today about that, but the team is obviously kind of focused on both modes in a big way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we really, like you've seen with any big AAA game, if you looked at how we unveiled Gears, last year, like we didn't do it all at once. We're really thoughtful about the right beats. I'd also say this entire show from beginning to end, every person working on the show, every development team on every demo, every asset is all doing this from home. So that's not easy for game development. So I'm just incredibly proud. The team at 343 has done heroics. They're making great progress on the game. What you saw was obviously full playable gameplay of the campaign. We know that's what people want to see first and foremost for Halo, but I've been hands-on with the multiplayer. I've played it along with Phil and other folks. They've got a lot of exciting innovation happening there, and we'll unveil that when the time's right. But today was about campaign and a first look at that open, expansive world, some of the new things like the grappling hook, and it's all Chief all the time, which I think is definitely what fans are looking for.
What people wanted to hear confirmation of. And I saw holiday 2020, so the plan is still that this will launch kind of day and date with Series X for the game?
Yes, our plan is to launch this holiday. We're planning to launch this with Xbox Series X. For folks that don't know, the last time Halo launched with an Xbox was with the original Xbox back in 2001. So, for us, like, we've been very thoughtful about planning the launch of this generation and every approach, every detail, from all the player-first initiatives to having Halo ready to building the world's most powerful console ever made. And so we're feeling really proud about that, and we think we're well positioned for a great holiday for our fans and for our partners.
You talked about, world's most powerful console. You have a lot of other games. The studios group showcase, as Matt Booty said, lots of world premieres and announcements. One that we should talk about at the end there was a nice moment, was a brand new Fable from Playground Games. We didn't get a ton of information out of that teaser about it, but what can you tell us? I mean, Fable is back. We can obviously expect a RPG. It looks like that's more of a sort of a CG piece versus showing the gameplay. But what can you tell us about the new Fable?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we know this is probably at the very top of the list of things we hear from fans. I've heard from fans more than anything is we want Fable. Please make another Fable. And to put the Fable franchise and give it a completely fresh start in the hands of one of the greatest game developers in the world, and also right there in England with Playground Games, is sort of a dream come true. So we're letting them, get a fresh start with the franchise, and really, you can see it's still got the classic, British humor that's really true to the franchise. It's obviously going to be a role-playing game.
É, mano, acho que vai ficar nessa converseira fiada aí.
Folks in the industry working on it.
Acabar,
And
eu
today
vou
was just
abrir
the
uma
reveal of the
gameplay.
game, and we're excited to
Eu vou jogar?
officially say Fable's
Que eu vou
coming.
jogar?
And we'll share more when we're ready, but this is the start of that journey.
Yeah, and that wasn't the only RPG that you guys announced. Obsidian also announced Avowed, which is something people are really excited about, a full next-gen RPG from the Obsidian team. Again, a similar kind of teaser, really just announcing the concept of it. Maybe could you talk a bit about between those two? I mean, what makes them, obviously thematically they're different, but are they both kind of similar RPGs, or how are you approaching them in terms of differentiating like the style of RPG that they are?
Yeah, I mean, I think for Obsidian, what you're really seeing is just paying off the benefits of adding them to the Xbox Game Studios team. I mean, I'm really proud of what they do at the Outer Worlds. That got nominated even for Game of the Year from the Game Awards. It was great to be able to show new DLC for that. There's a small team of Obsidian that's created this product called Grounded, survival, open world survival game that fans are kind of loving. But we know, and we've just been quietly smiling and listening to everyone's like, please, like, I loved Pillars. I love Obsidian. They're big AAA RPGs. Like, what are they doing next? And that's what today was about, to show, like, it's a true Obsidian RPG. They've got a lot of people working on this. This is a massive AAA game. And at this point, it's about the reveal. We wanted to, less is more, we think, but you can kind of get a sense of the first person view. You get a sense of kind of where they're taking this. But this is a big bet for Obsidian. And it's great that we're being able to give them all the resources to go realize their creative vision with this game. And Obsidian always delivers. And fans that are looking for the next big RPG from Obsidian should be excited about it.
One game that you did show some in-engine footage on was the next Forza, I guess, from Turn 10. Or could you explain what we saw? Because there was obviously beautiful real-time footage. And is that sort of the Forza 8 or where is it next Forza? Or can you explain kind of what we saw there?
Parece Doutor Estranho, verdade, mano.
Team has 15
Doutor
years of
Estranho.
experience in the motorsport space. I mean, obviously they have the highest rated, best-selling racing franchise in gaming. And what they're really doing with Forza Motorsport is
Vai ser parecido com esse cara aquele ali mesmo.
reimagining what that can be. They want to modernize
Esse cara que
it.
tinha negócio de uma
You
magia
see
numa
they're
mão
bringing
e
things like
outra
ray
espada
tracing
ali, né?
to the Forza Tech engine.
Bom, vamos ver, né?
They always push the limits of realism and fidelity. And for them to be, they were actually very actively involved in the design of the Xbox Series X. And you can already see an early look at how they're taking full advantage of that. That was an engine. And so we're announcing Forza Motorsport.
Eu quero ver
There is no number on the end. That is
State of Decay
intentional
3
because this is a
gameplay.
reimagination of what the next generation of Forza Motorsport would look like, that's built from
Será
the
que tem no
ground up
YouTube
for the
já?
future, from Turn 10, a studio that has 15 years of experience in the motorsport space. And
Será que tem
it's a good
data?
start, but we'll be definitely showing more in the future, but hopefully fans liked what they saw today.
So that's not a this year game. It's kind of a further out type of thing, but it's new Forza.
Correct. Not this year, but we wanted to unveil it. We want to let people know it's in development.
Ah, o Forza não vai sair esse ano junto com o videogame. É.
Show you kind of the power of Xbox Series X and engine, and then
Eu acho que a maioria desses jogos que mostrou aí não vai sair junto com o console
All
agora.
right, we'll definitely unveiled a slate of a lot
Vai
of
ser tudo ano
first-party
que vem.
titles moving forward, and again, as we saw in the briefing, everything coming to Game Pass moving forward, and that'll be kind of the way it's done moving forward, right, Aaron? Everything will be in Game Pass from your group, first party.
Yeah, I mean, this was, to be honest, this is the first time we've ever been able to do a show where we've reached a point with Game Pass where we can say from beginning to end, every game you saw is if you're a Game Pass subscriber, every game you saw is included in your subscription, and that's pretty powerful, and you don't have to look and see, oh, is this one Game Pass, is this one not? Just sit back and enjoy. From Halo to Destiny to Beyond Light to Fable to everything in between. If you're a Game Pass member, you're going to get all these titles when they launch. And
Stage
so
3.
that was pretty exciting. It's great to see people kind of say they thought Game
Vamos
Pass
ver.
was the hero of the show. And that also gave every game like a sense of purpose. So there was a lot of exclusives from our first party teams. Everything past the Bungie title were all console launch exclusives from our third-party partners. So you saw a real focus on exclusive games and a focus on Game Pass as something that we know fans that are invested in the Xbox ecosystem is sort of like, this is our
Não
gift to
mostrou
you,
nada não.
all the
Também
things
não
that
tem
you
data.
get
Isso aí
as an Xbox fan or a Game Pass.
só lá em
A lot of people have
2021
also
e olha
been
lá.
wondering about Xbox Live and how that's going to relate to Game Pass. There was something online, I think, where it's like the 12-month Xbox Live might not be available or something. Can you explain to people how is that going to work moving forward? Are you phasing out Xbox Live and it'll all become Game Pass, or how will that work for consumers?
Eu vou jogar no lançamento.
Actually, I am the
Grounded eu
games
quero,
guy,
pô.
so I
Grounded
manage
da hora.
our first party and third party game stuff. I'm not sure. I'm not actually up to speed on the Xbox.
Okay.
Ui,
Yeah, I just think it's-
aceitaram a
people are,
oferta
like,
do meu
excited about
capacete
the
aqui,
Game Pass, and they have
rapaz.
their Xbox Live, and I think what everyone's saying is they love this one-stop solution, right? It's like, here's what I'm paying, and I'm going to get all these great games and this great experience. So as you said, I'm sure over time it will all solve itself out. But yeah, the fact that there's so many great games in Game Pass, it's really, really such an amazing value. And speaking of Game Pass, one game that was announced today for Game Pass is from a good friend of both you and I, Bungie and Destiny, and joining us now from the Bungie team, deep in his development bunker at home, is Luke Smith. Luke,
hello.
What's happening?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Luke,
how we doing?
I'm doing okay. It's a little woolly over here, as you can see. It's very it's a very quarantine situation here in the house.
O que eu achei do evento?
You have a way better quarantine
Vamos
look
lá,
than I
vamos ver
do.
se eu
You've got the
consigo
dev quarantine.
lembrar, que nem o Gustavo falou. Supriu as minhas expectativas, mas eu esperava mais gameplay. Gameplay dos jogos, porque tipo, deixou só a gente na vontade e eu não sei muito jogo de como que ele tá ali mais ou menos. Teve muito jogo foda, mas faltou um pouquinho assim de gameplay, só um pedacinho, sabe, de muitos jogos ali. Eu queria ver como é que tava o gameplay do Stage 3. Se fosse ali metade, que nem fosse o Halo ali, ó, a demo do Halo, vamos dizer, mostra CG e tipo uns 30 segundinhos de gameplay, perfeito. Mas muito jogo ficou só no teaser e CG. Mas ao todo foi bem positivo. Foi bem melhor que o da Sony. Da Sony eu não gostei muito não. Tipo, teve jogos da hora? Teve, mas nada assim, nossa, preciso ter Play 5.
Across the whole thing, and even the pre-show. I mean, a lot of people were very excited.
Eu, você, o Scorpio e o VG, já era, grupo fechado e tal. É nóis, é sobrevivência. Do Grounded.
To gamers. So, Aaron Greenberg, thanks for joining us. Great with us, and congratulations.
Eu acho que a câmera do, não travou, não ia falar do Aaron que tinha travado, mas não travou não.
Destiny Dirt, right?
Oh yeah, let's just go through everything. Let's talk about where it's gonna end, whatever you want. Let's see.
Hey, well, you guys showing gameplay. We're excited about Beyond Light and obviously coming to Game Pass. But I think everyone wants to know more about the game. You talked a bit about development. Look, everyone knows you pushed back the date a little bit to
vamos ver se vai ter, né?
On it, which
se não tiver conquista, eu não vou jogar não. Não por agora. Eu foco nos outros jogos para terminar logo. Se tiver, eu jogo.
Last month, I mean, kind of outlined here's the next 3, right? I mean, you're sort of being very clear with people about the roadmap and the plan. This one, maybe we could talk a bit about Stasis, I guess. I mean, what do you want to share? Because I think everyone knows about it and you've talked about it, but you're keeping it kind of a mysterious in terms of how,
Eu vou, sabe o quê?
Is that
eu vou jogar.
You guys are still experimenting, or?
Eu vou jogar. Agora o que eu vou jogar? Não sei. Ó, vamos às opções. Eu abro uma live Borderlands pra continuar fazendo challenge.
in part because it's like the fun of
Eu abro uma live de outro jogo molezinha pra mim fazer, porque tem mais jogo lá pra me pegar no site.
We do have a bunch
E eu
of
tenho que
changes
entregar
we're
mais um.
making, to the way that players
Qual
are
que é a
going
outra
to interact
opção?
with wielding the darkness, and
Só essa.
we'll probably get into that a
Tem
little bit
outra.
before launch, if we always want to get feedback on that.
Deixa eu ver.
But you talked about that
É
event
só essa, não tem outra
from
opção.
whatever 4 or 6 weeks ago. I time kind of flies here in the quarantine bubble. It's hard to keep track of anything. And what we're trying to do
Gears eu já
with Destiny
joguei,
is really
tá
let
na
everyone
hora do
know that
Borderlands.
this
Eu
is,
joguei Final Fantasy
Destiny 2
IX,
is an
Gears.
awesome game that we are completely committed to. Like you can see, that Game Pass.
E aí,
How
o que
Game
vocês
Pass fits
querem?
into this vision of that single evolving world you can play anytime, anywhere with your friends. Like we want to be everywhere. To quote Ariel, like we want to be where the people are. We have this awesome global community, and we want to keep growing it. And
Startar o
now
Cuphead?
to
Tá, vou
close
startar
on
pra
something you
você.
pointed out at the top, Jeff. It's the
Vai, qual desse pai deixa saco. Pronto. Startei. Ó, vai startar. Vai startar. Vai startar quando o espírito fica olhando. Startou. Pronto. Pronto. Desejo do Caldespiro atendido. Agora acabou. E aí? Agora é Borderlands ou um molezinha? Que eu preciso ver qual que é as opções. Deixa eu ver as opções aqui. Aí eu já mostro. Vai, vamos lá. Se for molezinha, deixa eu ver as opções aqui. Parece que tá em grupo com o André. Ai, ai. Deixa eu ver quais são as opções que eu posso startar aqui. Startar não, fazer um 1000G Easy aqui, né? Ou eu poderia jogar um jogo numa outra conta só pra entregar o vídeo, né? Deixa eu ver aqui. Mas eu quero fazer 1000G logo. Deixa eu ver. Ué, não tá mostrando a plataforma que eu peguei o jogo, velho. Que merda. Nossa, eu odeio mexer sem ser o mouse, cara. Vamos ver se agora aparece. Não, mas o duro que tem que ser jogo do que eu peguei do site. Porque eu preciso entregar um jogo que eu peguei do site pra poder pegar mais 2 easy que tem lá. Ó, não dá pra saber os jogos aqui, mano. Que merda. O site acho que atualizou, eles tirou a plataforma. Deixa eu ver, ó. Tem esse aqui, ó. Esse aqui que eu posso fazer. Tem o Foxland 2. Tem esse aqui. Tem, deixa eu ver. Tem outro de navinha. Que é esse aqui, ó. Deixa eu ver se eu peguei esse jogo. É Project, não sei o que lá. Eu nem sei se eu resgatei o código. Ah, tá aqui, ó. Tem esse jogo aqui. Deixa eu ver o que mais tem. Tem esse aqui, ó. Cadê? Ixi, tá lá embaixo. Como que é o nome? Esse, ó. Rush Hover. Rush Hover. Tem esse aqui. Ih, acho que eu não peguei o código. Tem que resgatar ainda. Não peguei ainda. É um jogo de carrinho lá da Ratalaika que saiu lá. Tipo, de destruição, ó. Tem, quem mais? Deixa eu ver. Molezinha aqui, né? Pô, que chato que ele não mostra agora a plataforma na qual eu peguei o jogo, mano. Aí é foda. Aí eu não sei se é PlayStation ou Xbox. E aí, qual vocês acham? Eu jogo Borderlands mesmo. Não, tem que jogar um joguinho easy, né, mano? Não vou perder 2 joguinhos, ó. Ó, tem esses 2 joguinhos lá pra me pegar, ó. Quer ver? Vou ver se eu acho na loja aqui, ó. Deixa eu ver quais que são. Eu tenho que jogar um easyzinho, entregar um vídeo lá, pra me pegar mais 2 jogos lá. No site. Como que é o nome? Esse aqui, ó. Max and... não tem? Ou será que não saiu ainda esses jogos? Tem jogo que não saiu ainda. Eu acho que esses jogos não saiu ainda. Pega o nave que me deu rage. Eu acho que esses jogos não saiu ainda. Tipo, eu posso pegar eles lá, mas eu não posso fazer live. Vamos ver o outro. É Lost. Ah, esse saiu, ó. Tem esse jogo pra me pegar lá, quando eu entregar um jogo. Mais navinha. Só que esse navinha aqui, o bicho é sinistro, velho. Aquele ali não dá, eu não tenho ele. Eu tenho que fazer um pra pegar aquele lá. O único navio que tem é esse aqui, ó. Errei, né, seu safado? Tem esse aqui, ó. Nossa, olha lá. Eita, porra, olha o tanto de coisa na tela.
Online. Back on service.
E aí? Esse aqui? Deixa eu ver as conquistas. Vamos ver. Lose 8 shield, lose 16 shield, lose 24, collect 5 pickup. É a mesma lista de conquista daquele lá. Ó, 50. Encounter 1 mad event, 3 mad events, 6 mad events. Matar 25, 100, 300. 1 boss, 2 boss, 4 boss. Olha lá, a mesma conquista daquele lá, ó, é da mesma empresa. Esse aqui? Ai, ai, ai. Vai, vamos fazer isso aqui então, vai. É as mesmas conquistas daquele lá. Deixa eu achar uma capa para aquele ali. Deixa eu pegar aqui uma capa. O PC duro, o PC fica travando demais. Bom, eu vou finalizar a live então aqui. Aí eu vou configurar a próxima aí rapidão e já volto. Eu vou até deixar a câmera aí. Ixi, apesar que acho que tá caindo na internet aí. Sei lá. Vou finalizar aqui então para configurar a próxima live. Eu já volto da mesma configuração que tá aí, com a facecam e tudo. Valeu, galerinha que acompanhou aí até agora. Daqui a pouco estamos de volta. Vamos jogar.